Hello chess friends and welcome to your of Chess channel and welcome to an amazing game from the round 3 of the Chennai Masters in 2024. We have here Alexey Sarana against Arjun Erigaisi in an amazing St. Petersburg variation of the Nimzo-Indian Defense, in which Arjun with the black pieces today has a big chance to become the second best rated player in the world when it comes to classical time format rating. Huge opportunity today for him, because in this event he already gained again his 2800 rating points, but it's a live rating, so in order to keep really his rating, he has to finish now this event with a good result and then maybe keep his 2800 rating points. But as I said, today with the win he could have a live rating better than Fabiano Caruana, so only Magnus Carlsen would be in front of Arjun Erigaisi. So let's see what happened. In my opinion, again a spectacular roller coaster by both sides. So with the white pieces here, Alexey Sarana open with move d4, knight f6 by Arjun. We have c4, e6, knight to c3, bishop to b4, leads now of course into the beautiful Nimzo-Indian Defense. Normal line, we have now the move b6 here by Arjun Erigaisi, the so-called St. Petersburg variation, with the idea of course to play bishop to b7 and then control further the e4 square with the pin against the knight. So black is putting more and more pressure against the e4 square. We have now bishop to d3, now comes this idea, and now knight to f3, castling, and now c5. Here Arjun doesn't want to tolerate any activity by white here with this progressive pawn structure, so that's why immediately breaking the center is of course here a good idea by black. We have now knight to a4 by Sarana, c takes d4, and now a3, first of all an in between attack, bishop to e7, and now e takes d4, queen to c7 by Arjun Erigaisi, and now rook to e1, simply keeping everything glued together. Also again here battling for the e4 square. Now the rook and bishop are controlling this very important square in the opening stage. Again d5, again you see Arjun is battling for the center. He played first of all c5, now he's playing the d5. He's not tolerating any spaces here by white in the center of the board. But now Alexey Sarana makes a huge decision. He plays now the move c5, which is I think a great choice, really a dynamic choice here by white, because after b takes c5 and knight to c5, bishop takes c5 and d takes c5, white lost a pawn, but I think it's a beautiful compensation for the lost pawn. Now white is having here a beautiful attacking formation. Both bishops very active. Knight could be included into the game. Maybe in some lines you could also try some rook lifts, rook to e3, rook to g3, rook to h3, or similar stuff. I think it's a great compensation really for the lost pawn in the beginning, because we have to also say there is a certain lack of development by black. You still need to play with your knight, and also the bishop is so far not so well placed because it's blocked by its own pawn structure here on light square. So I think white has a decent game. The position should be about equalish, but let's see now how Arjun is defending against this very progressive idea by Alexey Sarana. Alexey Sarana continues with bishop to f4. We have queen to b6, knight to e5, simply putting more pressure here, of course trying, as we said, to play in some lines this beautiful rook lift idea and maybe hit the pawn on h7. Here bishop to a6, good choice I would say again here also by Arjun, not allowing both bishops to be on the board, so that's why bishop to c2 here by Alexey Sarana, keeping of course the bishop here on the board. Rook to c8, we have now b4, knight to c6, and now rook to c1, simply including now all of the attackers into the game. And now white has finished his development. He has now of course better activity because black is still not playing with this rook on a8. We have now knight to e5, bishop to e5, and now rook to c4. Again a good move I would say by Arjun Erigaisi. He knows that maybe white is trying some rook lifts, is trying maybe to include the queen somehow into the game. So at least with this move Arjun is bringing now a new defender into the game. He's trying somehow control now the fourth rank. We have now bishop to f6, g takes f6, queen to h5, king to f8, and now after bishop to b3 an attack against the rook. Now Arjun Erigaisi makes his first tiny little mistake in the game. He plays now the move rook to c6. Here Arjun should have simply, I think, simplified the game here with rook to c1. Then after rook to c1, the game is again equal. Maybe white will eventually grab this pawn on h7, but when the king comes to e7, it's nothing spectacular here for white. Then I think black could also push here, maybe some pawns in the center of the board, maybe even go further trades of rooks here on the c file. The queen could be activated here on d4, would be centralized. So I think now black could have also a solid game. Rook to c6 here by Arjun Erigaisi is not so good, because there is now a spectacular tactic that Alexey Sarana could have played, maybe just for fun. If you want to practice some tactics, maybe pause the video and try to see now here the best continuation for white. It's very, very tricky here what's going on now on the board. So very, very actually intense line that unfortunately for Alexey Sarana he missed. So what would you do now? Okay, here Alexey Sarana had the opportunity, a beautiful move to play bishop to d5. The issue is here now, if you play rook to c1 now and rook to c1 happens, the issue is now you cannot compete again here with rook to c8. That would be maybe the only way somehow to survive this attack, but then rook to c8 will simply retreat then with the light square bishop with bishop to c4. And in this scenario, I would say white is here much better. The issue is here after potential bishop to d5, and I don't know, e takes d5, you cannot do that. You cannot pick up the piece here, because after queen to h7 there is now huge threat of queen to h8 checkmate, and the rook is controlling the e file, and the king could not escape. So even if you try here after rook to c1, even if you try now e takes d5, again with the same idea, queen to h7, maybe you're trying rook to d8 because there is a threat of rook to h8, queen to h8 picking up now the rook on a8, then after again rook to e1, very dangerous stuff, again with the threat of queen to h8. So this was the way to go here for Alexey Sarana, bishop to d5, and it's almost like completely winning here. I would say very nasty here mistake here by Arjun Erigaisi, this move rook to c6. But okay, Alexey Sarana didn't see that. He played now queen to h7, rook from a to c8, we have a rook from c to d1, and now another blunder here by Arjun Erigaisi. Now he played the move d4. And here again Alexey Sarana had a huge opportunity to, I would say, immediately win the game, which is really crazy. He should have played simply rook to e4, including now the rook into the game, maybe rook to d6, and then you go for this pawn. Black would be pretty much forced now to defend this somehow, but now we go further with the queen here. Maybe you can play f5, but now this rook is coming into the game. There is a certain threat of rook to f5. I don't know, bishop to d3 could happen, but now you go with this rook. So in this scenario, white would simply continue the pressure here. Black is simply paralyzed, cannot move anything. I would say here completely busted position here for Arjun Erigaisi. But instead of this move here rook to e4, Alexey Sarana played h4. He noticed, of course, that he has a passer on the h file. He found simply a different plan, but it wouldn't work, because now finally Arjun Erigaisi can push also his pawn, and now the position should be about equal now for both sides. So black also found now a beautiful way now how to proceed here in the middle game stage. We have now the move h5. Now if you play rook to e4, if you try the same stuff, then queen to c7 is going to happen, and then after a couple more moves, white could also face some back rank problems. So now this whole concept is not working here for white. So that's why after move d3, h5, Alexey Sarana continues with this plan that he started. We have now queen to d4. Again, not a good move here by Arjun Erigaisi. Now again, Alexey Sarana had a huge opportunity to win the game, maybe immediately. Maybe just for fun, try to see again here the best continuation for white. Unfortunately for the game, here Alexey Sarana didn't play that. So what would you do now in this particular position with the white pieces? Very tricky game, I would say. Really, it seems that you cannot make a mistake, but actually so many mistakes can be done. First of all, let's see instead of this move queen to d4, what Arjun Erigaisi should have played. He should have played queen to b5, because the huge threat is actually b5 by white. Now for something like, I don't know, rook to e3, the rook lifts that we have talked about could be very dangerous. You play queen to f5, you could go maybe even further trades of queens. And now if something like this happened, for instance, I'm just showing you here a stockfish line, king to h7, rook to d6, rook to f7, king to g6, and the engine says here black is pretty solid because of now this advanced pawn. This rook is a little bit out of game, and now this rook could be included into the attack. There is a problem of d2, rook to c1, and similar stuff. So with the support of the light square bishop, this could be very, very hard to defend now here for white. So, but in after move queen to d4 that Arjun Erigaisi played, Alexey Sarana had the beautiful b5, playing the fork against the bishop and the rook. And the issue is now, if you play bishop to b5, notice that now this bishop is not protecting anymore the rook on c8, and it's now a huge problem, because after bishop to e6, you're trying maybe something like f takes e6, then a rook to e4 comes with an attack against the queen. You're trying maybe to defend, but now after rook to g4, the game is over here for black. Very wild stuff. You can maybe try here rook to e6 instead of this move f takes e6, but now we notice the tricky idea about the move b5. Now the bishop, as I said, is not controlling anymore the rook on c8, and now this check is coming and we pick up the piece, and here again white is completely winning here. So even if you try, it's after move b5, even if you try, I don't know, rook to c2, maybe you're trying to give up some material just not to allow this move bishop to e6, then bishop to c2, rook to c2, we play check, then we include now the queen into the defense, because okay, black has to worry, white has to worry about this f2 pawn. And again, after queen to e3, rook to e3, I would say again completely winning position here for white. So b5, that was the winning idea here for Alexey Sarana. Unfortunately for him, he played now rook to e4 immediately without this move b5, but now it's not working, because here Arjun Erigaisi finally attacks now also here the second rank. We have now bishop to a4. Now comes this idea, back rank problems obvious here by Alexey Sarana. We have now queen to e3, queen to h6, king to e7, and now queen to e3 here by Alexey Sarana. He's trying now to bring more pieces into the defense, but it's simply too slow. Rook to d1, we have now bishop to d1, and now queen to c1, forcing really here trades of pieces. Now again, the back rank problems are obvious here in white position. We have now queen to a7, and now the position is simply collapsing here. Arjun Erigaisi simply attacks now the queen takes, but now this bishop is also taken with the queen. You have to step back. Now queen to h5 comes with the check. Now here Arjun Erigaisi simply pushed the pawn, rook to d4, but here after queen to e5, it was simply game over here for Alexey Sarana. So Alexey Sarana made a huge mistake with this move queen to e3. Maybe he should have gone into this line, rook to c1 here, then queen to c1 would force a trade of pieces, but because of this very unpleasant pawn, again, I would say much better position for black. Black can control this pawn here, but as we saw, it was game over, because here after a couple more moves, the issue was now the back rank problem here. And as we mentioned, after queen to e5, in this particular position, Alexey Sarana resigned, which means now that with this win, Arjun Erigaisi again gained a couple of rating points. In this event, he gained now 6.8 points, 6.8 rating points, and he is now the second best rated player in the world. It's of course a live rating, so here Arjun has to continue to play like this in order to keep himself on the second place. But I think in this event, Arjun Erigaisi will keep his rating above 2800 ratings for sure. He will play probably a couple of draws more, maybe a couple of wins, but he'll be a 2800 rated player for sure, not only in a live rating. So great accomplishment again by Arjun Erigaisi. His career is going really in the correct way. Great performance also today. We have to mention he had a little bit luck today, but sometimes in chess you cannot see the best moves, your opponent also cannot see sometimes the best moves. So he found good ideas when he had the chance, and is now the second best rated chess player in the world, at least now for a while. So okay, I hope that you enjoyed this game. Very interesting ideas here in the middle game stage. If you want to see some other beautiful games played by Arjun, Erigaisi, Gukesh, and many more, check out our Come to Chess games. And if you like this content, hit the subscribe button. See you soon with some more videos. And what do we say in the end? Chess is the best, of course.